Good morning and welcome to Travel Abroad Virtually with Live. My name is Kewon Song, a Global Committee Chair for Long Island Board of Realtors. It is a pleasure to be here with you. Today, we are traveling to Peru, where we will explore the country's vibrant property market, culture, and investment opportunities. From the bustling urban landscapes of Lima to the enchanting charm of Cusco and the Sacred Valley, Peru offers a diverse prospects for investors seeking a foothold in South America. Before we start, a few housekeeping guidelines. Throughout the session, you will be muted. The speaker will not be looking at the chat. However, Evan Smith will be monitoring it. Should you have any questions, please type them in the chat to be addressed later on during the Q&A. To begin, let me please welcome and introduce our today's presenter. Ivan Larrier is a real estate broker in Peru. Ivan has more than 16 years of experience in the field. Her company, Casa Inmuebles, provides a property purchase, sales, and rental service and personalized advice and support throughout the process, giving their client the peace of mind of a secure transaction appropriate to their needs. Ivan is a member of a Peruvian Association of Real Estate Agents, ASPAI, and is a realtor of the National Association of Realtors, NAR, where she obtained ABR, SRS, and RENE designations. Please give a warm welcome to Ivan Larrier.
Hi, everybody. I'm very happy to be here. I have to recognize, as I told Ivan before, that I am a little nervous because it's not easy to present in a language that is not my language. I will try to do my best, and I hope that this trip through Peru, you can enjoy. I will share my screen, my presentation. I will talk about opportunities in the Peruvian real estate market. Before I will do introduce about Peru. For me, it's a pleasure to meet you and to be here. I can't deal with my accent. It's part of my DNA. So I hope that you can understand me very well. And is part of Peru also. I'm very, very happy today to have this opportunity to show my country, because tomorrow is the Independence Day here. We are celebrating the 202 years of independence. So it's a perfect occasion to share information about my country and also real estate market in my country. I will present a little background about Peru. We are 34 million people in Peru. In Lima, approximately 10 million people. It's the capital where I live. Peru is a multicultural country. The biodiversity is present everywhere, and we have native inhabitants like Quechua and Aymara people. Also, you can find Europeans, African, Japanese, and Chinese people. Maybe you will surprise, but we have the largest Chinese population in Latin America. Spanish is our official language, with 47 indigenous languages also spoken, including Quechua and Aymara. Peru is one of the 7 nations known as mega diverse. For example, we are home to the majority of Earth's species of flora and fauna, including highest number of species of potato, butterflies, and tropical fish. Also, we are, after Colombia, in second level of birds. As you can see, we have in the country, we have, you can find coastline, mountains, desert, and jungle. It's like the whole world in one place. You can find everywhere. I live in Lima, and Lima is in the coast, is the capital. But in 1 or 2 or 3 hours, more or less, you can find desert. It's incredible. Peru's economy have some industries driving the Peruvian economy, and mining is one of that, having 60% of the Peru's exports. In agriculture also is, to United States is very important because $7.8 billion in the last year was represented. Fishing is the world's #1 supplier of fish meal. Tourism is the globally renowned for our history and nature. Everyone knows about Peru, and you know that our history is ancient. Our ancient history is very interesting. Sorry. Talking about mining, Peru is considered one of the top 10 mineral-rich countries in the world. Mining is Peru's biggest industry, representing 60% of exports, 8.5% of GDP. Also, is this in the world is the second largest producer of copper, zinc, and silver. In the world also is 8th largest producer of gold. In Latin America, #1. We have 200 mines that employ 235,000 workers. So it's very important. Agriculture is another industry that is so important for us, represents 40.3% average annual growth rate over the last 10 years. 1,000% increase in exports to United States over the last 20 years, representing $7.8 billion in the last year. Also, Peru is the world's largest export of blueberries and paprika. Also, second largest exporting in asparagus and avocado. And our super grains, for example, quinoa, we say quinoa in Spanish, that comes from the Andes, are exported throughout the world. And maybe you don't know this, but it's a big information, I think, that we have 2,321 varieties of potato, more than everywhere else. As I told you, fishing is very important also in our industry, in our country. Is #1 fish supplier in Latin America, 9th largest supplier of fish in the world, and Peru supplies more than 10% of the world's fish consumption. The world's busiest fishing port in Peru is located in Chimbote. It's in the center of the country. And the most harvested fish in the world is the Peruvian anchoveta. Tourism is another important industry in our economy. We had 5 million tourists that visited Peru annually. This dropped off during the pandemic, but fortunately now is rebounding. Almost 500,000 visitors from the United States last year, that increased in 172% from 21. 8% of Peru's population works in the tourism industry. So you can see how important is this industry for us. Pre-pandemic, tourism contributed to 10% of the GDP, that represents in dollars $20 billion. Now we talk about cities and sites that are the most important. Let me show this. Yeah. Lima, which is the place, as I told you, where I live, is in the coast, is the gastronomical capital of the world. I'm sure that you have heard that in the past when I travel, people told me, Peru, you are from Peru. Peru is Machu Picchu. But now it changed a little. People recognize also Machu Picchu, but also our food. We are very recognized and people like a lot our food. Cusco is the gateway to the Sacred Valley. Arequipa is another city that is named the White City because of the volcano lava. They use in the architecture that product to build the houses. So that's why the color is white. Trujillo is another city that is the gateway to luxury beaches and Inca pyramids. Machu Picchu, as you know, is one of the 7 wonders of the world. And Colca Canyon is the world's deepest canyon, even deeper than the Grand Canyon. And Nazca lines are one of the world's greatest mysteries. I don't have yet the opportunity to go to meet them, but I'm very, very curious, and soon I think that I will plan my trip to there. Wait. Now I will talk about my association. I belong to ASPI, which is the Asociación Peruana de Agentes Inmobiliarios. It was established in 1997. We are 600 members, must be registered to belong to that association in the minister, in the housing minister. We are regulated by a code of ethics. We have the opportunity to belong and be member of NAR, National Association of Realtors, like is my case, which I am very happy to have that opportunity and to that open also the opportunity to do business and deal with people from other countries. We also belong to the association SILA, which is the Latin American Real Estate Confederation. And we each 2 years organize our COIPRI, which is our Latin American Real Estate Congress, and you are invited to the next year. We will plan the next one. A real estate agent in Peru, you can find 2 kinds of real estate agents. The qualified agent and the regular agent. The qualified agent, that I am a qualified agent, fortunately, we are formal, we have a code of ethics, we are well prepared, we are advisor, not only a salesperson, we accompany the clients with all the whole process. We invest in advertising. In the other side, you can find also a regular agent, which is an informal agent, unrestricted, improvises, strictly a salesperson, and they don't invest in advertisement. Since 2007, we have a law that regulates the activity of all registered real estate agents, but not all of them regulated their activity, unfortunately. The real estate process in Peru, sales commission ranges from 3 to 5%, more or less. Commission only earned from the selling clients. Buyers don't pay commission. I know that in some countries, agents receive commission from both sides, buyers and sellers, but in our case, it's only sellers who pay the commission. Agents work with and without exclusivity. Property inspection is not required. I know that in the United States it's a must. Here is not required. Mortgage credit interest rates now between 7% and 10%. 2 years ago, where the rates were lower, but now were increased. The real estate sector in the country represents 3% of GDP. The real estate process, I will explain how is, for example, in the case of a selling, no? Usually we have 3 steps. The first step is a deposit that is between 5 and 10% of the value of the property, and we call arras. The second step is a minuta, which the parts sign a minuta, which is a contract that grants the transfer of ownership. The third step is deed. It's a contract that grants the right to property. We call escritura. Buyer must pay a sales tax, which is, the name is alcabala, and represent the 3% of the purchase price, unless they buy a property which is a new project. It's not a second-hand property. In that case, no tax. Seller must pay 5% capital gain tax. Notaries are involved in the transaction process to benefit both parties. They work with SUNARP, the government, which is the government agency that register all the properties, and together, notary and SUNARP, they work to ensure that the sellers are the rightful owners and are eligible to sell. The notary will make the legal sales contract between buyer and seller. Buyer usually pays notary fees, which is approximately $400 and $700. Now I will tell you, I will share with you a Peruvian real estate case study. In terms of investments, in terms of investment dividend, Peru's most financial successful real estate complex is in the city of Aguascalientes. It contains homes, commercial plazas, hospitals, schools, municipal administrative complexes, security stations, storage buildings. Original financing was domestic, but now attracts significant foreign investment. A structural manifestation of Peruvian ingenuity in terms of architectural innovation, engineering, commitment to the environment, commitment to the local ecology, more earthquake-proof than most buildings in California. Investment in this construction has paid back significant dividend for its current owner, the government of Peru. The name of this property development translated as Old Pyramid in English, and the Quechua name of the property is Machu Picchu. As you can see, is if you can feel being there. I had the opportunity to be there, fortunately, and it's magic. I am sure that many of you have been there. If not, I invited you to visit us. It's really worthy to take a plane and come to Peru to visit Machu Picchu. By the way, I recently listed a hotel in Cusco, which is located next to the train station that takes you to Machu Picchu. The price is $6,500,000. So as I work in collaboration, if somebody have a big investor that could be interested in this property, in this hotel that I have, welcome. Machu Picchu has withstood the test of time, surviving 6 years of foreign conquest, near civil war, earthquakes, floods, terrorism, dictatorships, and lately COVID-19. Like Machu Picchu, Peru has conquered all of these obstacles to emerge as a Latin American success story. Now, llama or llama, we say llama in Spanish, you say llama in English, tell you about the real estate market in Lima. This is an example in the case of sales. Lima property values in dollars per square meters, talking about the 12 most important districts in Lima. You can see in the bottom the average. You can see from 2017 to 2013, and is more or less the average is around $1,800 per square meter. And if we are talking about rentals, the Lima property annual, in this case, values in dollars per square meter, also in the same 12 most important districts in Lima. In the bottom, you have the average that goes through in 2017 through to 2023. You can see the numbers in the bottom. More or less, the average is $100 annual. Now, I want to stop a little because I think that maybe my Peruvian accent is a little boring for you. So I want you to enjoy this video that I prepared for you. So even can I play? It's okay.
Let's see if your sound works, and if not, I'm all ready also.
Yeah. Well, I hope that you enjoy. It's impossible to don't feel in my heart some special feeling when I share with nice people like you, my country. Well, I have good news for you. Most for you that you are not Peruvian, that Peruvian real estate is not just for Peruvians. I will explain why. Well, according to the World Population Review, Peru is one of the best countries to retire in the world. In this chart, you can see that Peru is in the 8th position in the world, even better than countries, first world countries. No, and the rating are considering visa easy score, healthcare, climate, and the most important is cost of living. In this chart also, you can see even the however, Peru and many countries in Latin America sometimes are considered not so safety and with no good rating of peaceful. This chart shows based on militarization, safety and security, crime and domestic and international conflicts, that Peru it has a high rating of peace score, much better than United States, as you can see, and than many other Latin American countries. Also, Peru is affordable real estate. Like you can see in this chart, I do an exercise. I compare the Lima's most exclusive district that is located in San Isidro. As you can see, San Isidro, comparing to Manhattan, New York, Miami, and Boston. These are prices per square foot in dollars. So then how come? Why Peru had that great ratings are not located in the first positions? Why Mexico first, Ecuador, Panama, Costa Rica is another country that is considered to retire. So one of my goals, my dream, is to promote Peru for retirement. And that's why I prepared this presentation. I'm sharing with other associations in the United States also, and please help me to promote my country in this way. I invented a word for this. The word that I invented is colcolistas. Who are colcolistas? You know that when retiring, what goes down must come up. The goal of retirees is to reduce cost of living and increase quality of life. So the word came from that two words, cost of living, and quality of life. Colcolistas equal retirees. So increased popularity in countries like Mexico, Costa Rica, and Panama are causing expenses to rise in the most tourist-driven and retire-driven areas. Peru, however, is still under the radar in this aspect. So let's see. Talking about cost of living and comparing Lima versus Los Angeles, reduce. For example, we compare the consumer prices in Lima are 51% lower than LA, 44% less expensive in basic utilities, 71 lower in restaurants prices, 57 less expensive in a movie night, for example, 53 cheaper in groceries, 76 lower taxi rates. And in real estate, you have 79% lower prices in renting and 78% less expensive per square foot buying a property. Again, the amount required per month to maintain the same standard of living in both cities is 6,200 in Los Angeles versus Lima, 2,251. So the difference is big. And this comparison is based in maintaining the same standard of living. When we talk about quality of life, we have top 10 reasons to return to Peru. Easy visa process, we will see in next slides. Beautiful climate, walkable city, incredible food, we talked about that before, variety of landscapes, low cost of living, beautiful beaches. Since the north of Peru to the south of Peru, you can find over the coast many beautiful beaches, friendly people, rich culture, and affordable property. So the retirement visa, I will talk about the retirement visa in Peru. We have a retirement visa called Rentista visa. The Peruvian government encourages foreign investment, include retirees. This use simple requires proof $1,000 per month as a pension and $500 per dependent. If you don't have dependent, only $1,000 per month. And that's it. You get a valid indefinitely visa. The only restriction is that you may not work in Peru for 2 years, but can apply for citizenship and work after 2 years. Don't have to pay foreigner taxes, Peruvian income tax, and tax duties on personal items imported in Peru. Also, we have the investor visa that applicant must have $137,000 to invest. Simple, a bank transfer is enough. Initial duration of that visa is 12 months to be extended if the visa is maintained throughout the year with minimum 5 Peruvian employees. That is a requirement. And then eligible for permanent residence at 3 years and citizenship at 5 years. Well, I am almost finishing. Prophet once said, "Don't tell me what a man says. Don't tell me what a man knows. Tell me where he's traveled." I wonder about that. Do we get smarter, more enlightenment as we travel? Does travel bring wisdom? I think there is probably no better place to find out than Peru. That's a quote from Anthony Bourdain, a chef and a North American chef who had a TV program and wrote many books. Well, I was very happy to be here. I am available for you whenever you want. I can be also a tourist guide. If you decided to visit Peru, please don't be shy to contact me. My arms will be open always. Thank you. Thank you very much for the invitation. And well, tomorrow I will celebrate with my holiday.
Thank you so much, Ivan. That was such a great presentation. It was so interesting. Really interesting. Do have a couple of questions for you, if you don't mind.
Okay.
First of all, I gotta say, I had no idea that there was over 2,000 different types of potatoes. Peru is actually one of my places that I want to go to visit, so I will have to try at least half of them when I'm there. And it was actually really interesting to see, because when you think of Peru, you think of Machu Picchu. I didn't even know about half of the other places that you were talking about. So I'm definitely sign me up. Back to professionalism for a minute. So you spoke about qualified agents versus non-qualified agents. and said that some are regulated, but some aren't. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Does that mean that some agents are licensed and some aren't? Is everyone underneath the law? Can you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, we really we are 10,000 real estate agents, more or less, registered. And even that we have a regulation, and we have a law that protect us, is not so strict. In some countries, the rules sometimes are part of the country, but how is it at the beginning, more or less, the law, they can cut immediately the activity for other agents. But our goal and my dream also, my work always, I try to educate the owners to please work with registered agents, because it's safety for them also. It's safety, is they can support in a better way, in a better advisors, but it's impossible to control completely. I know that for you, I know that in the United States, the rules, the law work much better than in Latin America, but we are in that way. I hope that soon we can say everybody is registered here in Peru, but not yet, unfortunately.
It's similar to, I guess maybe on Long Island and in New York, having a realtor versus just a real estate professional. Are all qualified agents members of the Peruvian Association, or is that another thing that you would get registered for?
Can you repeat, please, the question?
Are all qualified agents who are registered, are they also a member of your association, the Peruvian?
In my association, only we receive qualified and registered associates, and also if you don't have that registration, you can be a member of a SPY, and also evident you can be a realtor.
Excellent. Back to international foreign investment coming into Peru. It is actually really interesting that you have all those ways that people can basically relocate into Peru. What areas do Americans primarily purchase in? Is there, Lima? Is that where most people are going? Are they doing more of the vacation areas?
We have the first place that people want to visit is Cusco, Machu Picchu, but they have to stop in Lima for sure. But usually it's funny because the tourists only stop for one night for the necessary stop to go to Cusco after that. But I recommend people to stop more days in Lima, because Lima has many, many beautiful places to visit, and you can find also culturally many interesting things, history, and the beaches also, as I told you, are beautiful. You can see in for example, Miraflores, which is the place that tourists usually go more, is 15 minutes from the beach. So you can walk also. You can go down the stairs and reach the coast, the beaches. So the second city that people used to visit is Arequipa, that I name in my presentation, is the white city, and Ica, Paracas, the desert, where are the Nazca lines, is another important place that tourists and investors also are looking a lot for hotels and that kind of investments.
Are there a lot of areas that are being built up? Are there like a lot of vacation areas that are coming on the market?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, and also Peruvian investors and from many places of the world, no? That can invest here.
Are there any regulations with short-term rentals, such as like Airbnb or VRBO or anything?
We have a lot of buildings that work with that kind of business, Airbnb. Some buildings are starting to control that because, well, sometimes cause too many movement in buildings and noises and problems, troubles. But we have many constructor companies that are building that kind of high buildings which 200 with 200 or 150 apartments, small apartments like 40 square meters or less inclusive that they use to rent in for Airbnb. And many Peruvians also invested in that kind of properties to get a profit, no? A monthly profit, so they can, and also before owners that kind of apartments, they had to manage directly with Airbnb, but now we have like 10 companies that are in charge of this kind of business. So you can give your apartment to that administration to company, and they are in charge of everything. You only receive monthly your income.
That's a nice setup. You know, I know when we were in Spain last month, we were talking to someone from the Dominican Republic, and they also had an area. That's such a nice feature. So does Peru have an MLS? How do people find properties in your area?
Well, we don't have an MLS like you guys have. We are jealous what you have. Is really incredible. But we here, many companies are trying to develop like a kind of MLS. We work a lot with the principal websites, real estate websites. We work a lot with that, and we have in our association, we have also a kind of MLS that is Mercado Casa is the name, but it's not as big as yours. We hope that soon we can have. It's coming. I think that soon will come.
Kate, do you have any questions? Kate, do you have any questions or?
Oh, no.
Okay. I don't believe that there are any other questions in the chat. If anyone has any questions, feel free to enter them in now. Otherwise, I think we're good to wrap up.
Well, thank you very much.
Ivan, thank you so much for your time and all detailed information. You worked so hard to prepare this. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. It was nice to meet you, and to have, if we didn't meet each other in the Congress, NARC Congress, maybe I wouldn't have this opportunity. I'm very, very happy. Thank you everybody for your participation, and see you soon. Thank you, Ivan.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.